Hey friend, welcome back. This is the Daily Spark. Let's learn something fun today. I was looking for a missing shoe in my dark closet this morning.
Ah, the classic domestic mystery. Did it just vanish into thin air?
Exactly. I threw a flashlight in there and nothing came back. I was digging through old coats, boxes of photos, tangled wires. It felt like a place where things just end.
Closets have their own laws of physics. They are deeply suspicious.
They really are. And sometimes learning a language feels exactly like that dark closet. You study hard, you learn a new grammar rule, you practice it. Then you try to speak, and the words just vanish.
You throw vocabulary into your brain and it just disappears entirely.
Right? It can feel really scary and incredibly frustrating. It makes you want to just give up and walk away. But walking away means you never find out what is inside.
Exactly. You have to be brave enough to step into the dark.
So today, we are going to look into the ultimate dark space. We are going to make the most mysterious objects in the universe easy to understand. And we'll give you words you can actually use tomorrow. Today, we have an amazing guest to help us figure this out. Dr. Marcus Vance is an astrophysicist. He studies how space and time actually work.
Hello everyone. I brought my favorite rubber bands to explain things today.
I love that. Space science using office supplies.
It is the best way. The universe is basically just stretched out rubber bands.
Well, let's start with the big question. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you fell into a black hole?
I think about this every single day of my life. It is the absolute ultimate roller coaster ride. But sadly, you only get to ride it exactly once.
That sounds terrifying. Growing up, sci-fi movies always scared me. They showed these giant space vacuums eating whole planets, just sucking up everything in the entire galaxy.
That is a very common picture, but it's mostly a Hollywood myth. They're not evil space monsters looking for snacks.
Wait, they don't wander around the universe eating stars?
Not at all. They just sit there, minding their own business. If our sun suddenly became one, Earth would not get sucked in.
Really? We would just keep floating around normally?
Exactly. We would freeze in the dark, of course. Without the sun's heat, it would be a very bad day. But our physical orbit would stay exactly the same.
That is wild. So the fear comes from not understanding them. We're afraid of the dark, not the gravity.
Yes, they're just extreme examples of regular physics. Like water going down a drain, just a very deep drain.
I feel so much better already. My childhood fears are gone.
I'm glad. Science is much friendlier than science fiction.
So if they're not space vacuums, what are they?
Well, let's dive into the details. Most people think a black hole is just an empty space, like a dark, bottomless pit floating in the sky. So what exactly is a black hole, and how does it form in space?
That is a very common myth, honestly. It is not empty at all. A black hole forms when a massive star dies and collapses. It becomes a huge amount of matter, packed tightly into a tiny space.
Oh, let's pause on that phrase, packed tightly. I want to talk about how that feels. It's not just full. It feels like closing an overstuffed holiday suitcase. You push and push, but there's zero extra room left inside.
Yes, perfect analogy. Now imagine packing 10 entire suns into a single city.
Think about that for a second.
Because the star is packed so tightly, it creates unbelievable gravity. This intense gravity is the real secret. It pulls everything in.
Notice how pulls everything in feels to say. It sounds aggressive, right? It's not a polite invitation, it's a strong, unstoppable cosmic force.
Very aggressive. It is the ultimate cosmic trap. Even light, the fastest thing in the entire universe, cannot escape.
Wow, not even light can outrun it. That's totally wild.
True. But you only face danger if you get close to the edge. If you stay far away, you're perfectly safe.
The edge sounds like a very strict, invisible boundary line.
It really is. Scientists call it the event horizon. If you cross that edge, the black hole will swallow you completely.
Ugh, swallow makes it sound like a hungry giant space monster. Does it actually eat huge things, like planets and whole stars?
Well, yes, but it stretches them out first, like pulling a warm noodle.
Oh, I've actually heard of this. Spaghettification, right?
You got it. The gravity pulls your feet much harder than your head, so you stretch out into a long string of pasta.
Note to self, do not visit a black hole anytime soon. Well, yes, but it stretches them out first, like pulling a warm noodle.
Oh, I have actually heard of this. Spaghettification, right?
A long string of pasta.
Note to self, do not visit a black hole anytime soon.
Good plan. Just admire them from a safe distance. Like maybe a few million light years away.
Let's finish this part with a use it tomorrow tip for our listeners. You can practice the phrase packed tightly in your daily life. Next time you put groceries away, say, the fridge is packed tightly.
Or if you ride the subway during the busy morning rush hour.
Exactly. The train was packed tightly. That is a great real-world example. Thinking about all that mass packed so tightly makes me sweat. I mean, what happens if a spaceship gets too close to a black hole?
Picture a small wooden boat floating down a river. Ahead of you is a massive, roaring waterfall. If you keep your little boat far upstream, you are totally safe. The water is calm. But if you drift near the edge, the current moves way too fast. You cannot paddle away.
Wow, you just lose completely to the water. The river takes control.
Precisely. In astrophysics, that invisible edge in space is called the event horizon. It is the literal point of no return. Light itself cannot even escape it.
The point of no return. That phrase sounds incredibly dramatic, honestly. It gives me chills.
It is very dramatic. It feels like making a heavy, final choice in life. Once you cross that invisible line, you cannot go back. The universe simply forbids it. The black hole's gravity will eventually swallow the spaceship completely. No escape is possible.
We use this phrase in normal life too, not just for space travel. Like when you decide to cut your own bangs really short in the mirror.
The scissors make that first big snip. Suddenly, there's no going back at all. You've been there, right? Oh, absolutely. A terrible DIY haircut is definitely a point of no return.
Okay, so our unlucky spaceship crosses that scary edge. What happens next?
This is honestly my favorite part of the whole process. The spaceship gets pulled apart.
Pulled apart? That sounds like a horror movie. Poor astronauts.
It feels like extreme, unstoppable stretching. Imagine taking a hot piece of gooey mozzarella cheese. When you pull the cheese, it gets thinner and thinner. Space actually does this to solid metal. The gravity is much stronger at the front of the ship than the back. I see. Because the front is closer to the center of the hole? Exactly right. That difference in gravity will stretch the metal until it finally breaks. Astrophysicists actually call this strange, funny process spaghettification. Spaghettification? Are you serious? You just turn into a long noodle of space dust? Basically, yes. The extreme gravity stretches you out completely. You get pulled apart into a very long, thin string of atoms. Well, I am suddenly very glad I am sitting safely here on Earth. No spaghettification for me today. Let's give our listeners a quick use it tomorrow tip. How can they practice these intense space phrases safely at home? Let's use the phrase pulled apart for daily non-scary things. You use this phrase when physical things separate completely, like eating a warm, fresh pastry. You can confidently say, the soft bread was easily pulled apart. That is a perfect example. Or maybe you have a very energetic puppy. You could say, my puppy pulled apart his new stuffed bear. Easy and practical.
Right.
Speaking of things pulling apart, my own brain is about to snap right now. We covered the physical dangers of space perfectly just now, but I've heard that time actually changes near a black hole. Is that true? Yes, but people usually picture this concept completely wrong, They think your wristwatch just physically breaks in deep space, like the tiny metal hands just freeze in pure panic.
Honestly, I definitely pictured a floating, broken clock. The truth is much weirder. Time actually slows down. Imagine flying your spaceship near the edge of this massive object. Before it can swallow your ship entirely, a crazy illusion happens. Oh boy, what kind of illusion? To you, everything inside the ship seems perfectly normal.
Actually slows down.
But to someone watching far away, your movements stretch out. Oh, wow. So I would look like a slow-motion movie?
Exactly. Let's look at the emotional grammar of slows down. When you say something slows down, it feels very sluggish. It feels like you are wading through thick, sticky honey.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. You are fighting an invisible resistance while trying to escape it.
That makes sense. It feels heavy, almost incredibly frustrating.
Right. It's not just stopping suddenly, it's dragging endlessly. Now, to explain the illusion fully, we need the phrase relative to, because time only changes compared to someone else watching you.
Okay, so it requires a comparison.
Yes, using relative to feels like putting on someone else's prescription glasses.
Oh, I love that analogy. It shifts your whole perspective instantly.
It really does. Let's practice that feeling with a daily scenario. Imagine driving a fast car on a busy, open highway. You feel very fast relative to the stationary trees.
Naturally, I'm zipping right past them.
But relative to a jet airplane above you, you're basically crawling.
I see. So relative to just means compared to a specific thing.
Precisely. It highlights a strong contrast between two totally different experiences. If I spend 1 hour near the black hole, years might pass for you.
That is absolutely terrifying. I think I would just stay on Earth.
Probably a very safe choice, Ryan. Earth is much easier. Let's give our listeners a practical use it tomorrow tip now. You can use these space phrases to complain about your daily life.
I'm an absolute expert at making daily complaints.
We all are. You can say, my brain really slows down before coffee. Or you can say, my rent is so expensive relative to my tiny salary.
I've definitely used those. My home internet slows down every single evening.
It is so annoying relative to the fast connection at my office.
Perfect example. It makes your English sound so much more natural.
Try testing this out with your own daily annoyances this week. I dare you to complain about a painfully slow machine in English tomorrow. If time slows down so much near the edge, my brain simply hurts. So, Dr. Vance, I just have to ask the ultimate question today. If nothing can get out, where does everything go once it's inside?
That is the million-dollar question, Ryan. Yesterday, I actually tried fixing my son's broken toy watch. I popped the back open, fully expecting to see little beers.
Interesting. You wanted to see how the machinery actually worked.
Exactly. But it was just a blank, sealed plastic box. I mean, I couldn't see inside it at all. In astrophysics, we call the center the great unknown.
The great unknown. That sounds almost poetic, honestly. What is the emotional feeling behind that exact phrase?
Well, it feels like standing before a massive locked metal door. You have absolutely zero clues about what's behind it. You use it when you face a complete, absolute mystery.
I see. So what is our best guess about that locked door?
We know gravity gets infinitely strong at the very center. Anything trying to escape will just stretch into absolute nothingness.
That sounds like a terrible way to go, you know?
Very terrible. But after that point, our math simply stops working. That brings us to our next phrase, laws of physics.
The laws of physics. That sounds very academic and serious. Does it feel strict when you say it out loud?
It feels like a rigid rule book for the entire universe. Imagine a strict teacher who never allows any rule breaking.
Allows any rule breaking. Like knowing that a dropped apple will always fall down.
Got it. The rules that govern our normal, everyday reality.
Yes, But at the center of a black hole, that strict rulebook just bursts into flames. Science cannot explain what happens down there yet.
Wow. The universe just throws away its own rules entirely. Think about that for a second.
It is true. All our normal rules of reality just vanish.
That is equally terrifying and completely fascinating. Let's give our amazing listeners a Use It Tomorrow tip. How can we use these dramatic phrases in normal life?
Use the great unknown for any big, mysterious life change, like moving to a brand new city without a job. You could tell your friends, "I'm stepping into the great unknown."
I love that. It adds some real drama to life. And what about the phrase, laws of physics?
You can use it jokingly when something seems completely impossible, like, "My teenager's incredibly messy bedroom defies the laws of physics."
I would definitely use that one today. Dr. Vance, thank you so much for exploring space with us.
My absolute pleasure, Ryan. Keep looking up at the stars.
Okay, Marcus, take a deep breath. It is time for the lightning round. For our listeners, this means I ask quick questions, you give me quick answers. No long science lectures.
I am ready. Hit me with your best shot. I will try to be fast.
First question from our listeners. Are black holes actually the color black?
No, they do not have a color at all. I mean, they are completely invisible. Light cannot get out, so we see nothing. It's like a dark, empty room.
Wait, if they're invisible, how do you scientists even find them in space?
Great question. We look at the space around them. We see stars orbiting something invisible, or we see bright gas falling into them, like watching water go down a drain.
Mind blown. Okay, next question. Will our beautiful sun ever become a black hole?
Nope, you do not need to worry. Our sun is way too small. A star needs to be at least 10 times heavier to collapse like that.
That is a huge relief. So what happens to our sun eventually?
Well, billions of years from now, it would just shrink into a tiny white star.
I love that. Okay, third question. Can scientists make a tiny one right here on Earth? I read about giant particle colliders in Europe. People were very nervous about them.
Yes, people always worry about this with the giant machines, but no, we cannot. And you know, even if we made a microscopic one, it would vanish instantly. It would disappear in a fraction of a second. Poof, gone.
So my house is completely safe. That is very good to know.
Yes, your house, your closet, and your missing left shoe are completely safe.
Hey, that shoe is a mystery. Okay, final quick question. One word answer. If I fall into a black hole, what is the word for my body stretching?
Oh, that's easy. Spaghettification, just like the long pasta.
Spaghettification. Science is so weird sometimes. Thank you, Marcus, for surviving the lightning round.
Let us lock in this space vocabulary. It is time for our word review.
First up is the big boss of the universe, gravity.
You might have heard us say gravity when talking about the invisible force pulling the spaceship.
Don't think of a boring science textbook. Think of the feeling when you drop your favorite buttered toast.
I love that.
It always hits the floor.
That invisible, heavy pull downward is gravity.
It keeps our feet on the ground, but you can use it for serious feelings too.
Right. Here's your use it tomorrow example. I don't think he understands the gravity of this mistake. It means the heavy, serious importance of the situation.
Next on our list is the word swallow.
You might have heard us say swallow to describe a black hole eating a whole star.
It's the feeling of something completely disappearing into a hole, like when you drop your car keys into the deep couch cushions.
The couch just eats them. Gulp. Exactly. It takes it in completely. Your use it tomorrow example, the dark, foggy night seemed to swallow the car's headlights.
Moving on to escape, we learned that not even light can do this.
You might have heard us say escape when talking about running away from that cosmic trap.
Imagine being stuck at a very boring party. You're eyeing the front door. You just want to slip away and be free.
That deep desire to break out is the feeling of escape. Use it tomorrow like this. We managed to escape the loud city and spend a quiet weekend in the mountains.
Before our last two words, let's quickly remember some key phrases from today.
We talked about crossing the point of no return. That's when a choice is made and you absolutely cannot go back.
We also used pulled apart for things breaking into pieces and relative to when comparing two different views. Keep those handy.
Back to our main words. Number 4 is stretch.
You might have heard us say stretch when Dr. Vance talked about pulling a warm noodle.
Think of hot mozzarella cheese on a pizza. You pull a slice away and the cheese just gets longer and longer without breaking. That tension is a stretch.
Or that amazing feeling when you wake up and reach your arms high into the air.
Try this use it tomorrow example. I need to stretch my legs after sitting on that long airplane flight.
Finally, we have the word edge.
You might have heard us say edge when talking about the boundary line of the black hole.
Picture standing on a high balcony. Your toes are right at the very end.
Interesting.
One more step forward and there is nothing but air. That sharp, scary drop-off point is the edge.
It is the absolute limit of something. You can also use it for feelings. If something makes you nervous, it puts you on edge.
Use it tomorrow. That movie had me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Dr. Vance, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was my absolute pleasure. You know, space is for everyone.
It really is. And I was just thinking, learning English is actually a lot like exploring outer space. Sometimes you feel totally lost in the dark, just floating alone.
Right. You might even feel like all your progress gets swallowed up by a black hole.
Exactly. But every new word you learn is like a little star lighting up the dark. You just have to keep moving forward.
Well said, Ryan. Building a galaxy takes time. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight.
I love that. Now, think about our promise today.
We said we would make the most mysterious objects in the universe easy to understand.
And I hope we made them feel a bit less scary, too. Here's your homework. Try using our new phrase, put on edge, sometime tomorrow. And tell us in the comments, what is one everyday thing that always puts you on edge?
I'm gonna read those comments. I bet someone says spiders.
Oh, spiders definitely put me on edge. Or standing near a steep drop-off. Ugh. Well, next time, imagine you're trying to remember a simple fact during a big meeting, but your brain just freezes and the information completely disappears.
Like it fell into a mental black hole? My memory has been terrible lately.
Exactly. What causes that frustrating blank space in your mind? We'll find out. We'll save you a seed. Marcus, this has been the Daily Spark Radio. See you next time.